Hey guys, what's going on? This is John, Gamester81. We're here at Devastation. This is a big gaming event in downtown Phoenix held annually. So let's check it out and see what's inside.
Here it is. This is Devastation 2011. This is an event held in downtown Phoenix at the Phoenix Convention Center. It started in 2005 out of some guy's house, which is pretty amazing. And over the years, it's just doubled and it's gotten bigger and bigger. And I'm not quite sure the exact count of people who attended, but I'll tell you it's in the thousands. It's pretty big. And there's a number of vendors here. This is Best Buy's booth. They were actually raffling off a TV. They were really pushing their reservations for some upcoming titles. And the whole idea of this event is where you can go in and have tournament play. Here's a BYOC corner. This is where gamers would bring in their own consoles, whether it's a Super Nintendo, PS2, what have you, and they basically play with from friends and set up their own tournaments, which is a kind of a neat idea. Bookman's was there. Bookman's is a local video game store by where I live here in Phoenix, and they had a booth here with a whole bunch of classic games, Sonic 2, and then here is Primal Rage, awesome fighter by Atari. I really wish they'd make a new one. I really like that fighter. It's kind of not many people really mention it, but if there's one thing I noticed over the weekend is obviously the fighting genre is getting big, more popular, and because of that, you see a lot of arcade sticks, and there are a lot of different vendors there really modding arcades. And Hori was there. Hori has been making controllers and accessories for the Nintendo products for many years, and they have this mouse and keyboard setup for PS3 and 360 for first-person shooters, and it's a USB hookup for the PS3 at least. Worked really good. So if you're like those PC gamers and you're a PC gamer yourself and you like that controller, prefer it over the controller, that might be something to look into. It's coming out in the market. That camouflage version was Call of Duty exclusive. But they also had a Devastation Arcade. This is actually sponsored by Castles and Coasters, which is a local arcade. And they brought in a whole bunch of machines. Classics, Killer Instinct was one, Neo Geo. There's a chick playing Neo Geo. That is a sight for sore eyes. I'll tell you what, that's pretty awesome to see. And what's really cool about this section, not only was it busy, but they had representatives from Castles and Coasters come by and drop off $5 gift cards. And they put them on the screens. And I don't think a lot of gamers notice that. So while I was playing, I always, had to grab a couple of them, because I love Castles and Coasters. It's got some great machines. Miss Pac-Man there that we just passed. That's on Fast Play, which is, I prefer it. I like it fast when it comes to that game. Here is the Simpsons arcade, a classic Konami beat 'em up. I really like these 90s games that Konami made, whether it's X-Men, this one, Turtles. There's so many classics ones. Iron Man pinball by Stern. They had an Addams Family pinball. Castles and Coasters altogether has about 27 pinball machines. Addams Family right there is the #1 selling pinball machine of all time by Bally. Came out in 1992. Here is Mario Kart 2. It is obviously by Nintendo, but actually made by Namco. So it was licensed by Nintendo, made by Namco. So you got some Pac-Man characters in there. It's kind of interesting, some Namco characters. Here is Initial D, which is always a really fun game. I like the play dynamic. You have to have a license card you can put in and save your slots. Very cool. Here's like a flying game. Air hockey, which is of course classic and kind of a pan of the area. So basically the way it was set up, they had these stations with these screens here, and every section they had a different game, whether it's Marvel vs. Capcom, they even had music games like Rock Band or Gears of War 3, what had you. So basically you'd set up, you'd play, and once you get to the top, you go into this big section here, and then they put you on this big screen, you play, and they had commentators, and they would actually broadcast this over Twitch TV. And over the weekend, they had 250,000 people tune in, so this is definitely not a small thing. A lot of people would tune in and watch these people play. And you'd win various things like accessories and whatnot. There were prizes. Here's a vendor. He had a whole bunch of cool stuff he was promoting, and he had a really nice, cool speed run. You had to go through levels 1 through 3 of Super Mario Bros. 3 in under, I think it was like a minute and a half, and you'd split the prize if you did that. I think a couple people had done it. It's pretty neat. And here's some more vendors. Symbiote. They were there. They had a really cool main machine right there. I really liked the artwork they had for it, but they had a whole bunch of fighting games in that. And they had some, memorabilia and stuff too. So if you're into gaming memorabilia, they definitely had that there as well. The attention to detail in these figures is just simply amazing. It's really cool. And the anime, a lot of anime items, and the prices were reasonable. They weren't price gouging, which is really good to see. Here is a vendor called Boson, B-O-S-O-N, and they specialize in 3D technology. So that image there, the Mortal Kombat playing, appears to be in 2D, but they give you these glasses, and it pops out in 3D. It's really trippy. It's really hard to explain. Big shout out to a friend of mine, Melanie, the Office Gamer Girl. She has a YouTube channel here. She has an incredible talent of making these pixel art pieces here, and it was really cool. She had a booth set up. She was also selling some of her games. So big shout out to Mel. Definitely check her out, and she has a great knack of making these awesome art pieces. I think they're great, very artistic. Game Zone, which is a local gaming store in the area as well. It had some at a booth, and they were selling some games. They had a lot of anime stuff. They had a lot of import games. This is the only really main vendor selling predominantly games, but they had some cool ones. You know, they had classic N64, and they had your NES top loader, of course. Evil Controllers, which is a place in Tempe, Arizona. They have where you can get classic controllers. There is a cocktail Pac-Man. They have Best Buy was having a contest through them. So overall, I had a fantastic time. Oh, one last thing. This is Jason Heine, a good friend of mine, the EMU review. He was playing KI, which is one of his favorite fighting games of all time, and there was a lineup behind him playing. So incredible time, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Take care.